evening, everyone, and welcome to another season of the North Georgia SportsLink. We're going to bring you all the best in local high school sports. Bo, you're number 18.
18, man. I think I was 18 when we started.
Yes, you were.
This show. Ironically, you're throwing your Throwback Thursdays out last week, or was it earlier this week?
Yeah, last week, yeah.
Last week, it was the very first broadcast, and I was a scared little puppy.
You were a kid. You were very young, but hey, we've grown, and the community has grown with us, and we appreciate all the support that we've got over the years, especially Goodson Pharmacy pregame show that we were looking at that, and Phil Goodson is going to be with us once again in year number 18, and a lot of super sponsors that we have coming on. We'll be recognizing those sponsors coming up next week. Our first broadcast, Lumpkin County and Model, and then the next week, Dawson County will open up their season with for South Central at home, Bo.
Yeah, it's something that we always look forward to, and then it kind of flies by, and then we're looking forward to it again. It's just the rotation we've had for 18 years now, and it's good to see the football season back in full swing. We saw it, tonight with the scrimmages. Week 2 for some folks, Lumpkin County, their second scrimmage tonight, and we'll get to that later in the show and talk about those. But, football season's here. We're ready to start it up, and Lumpkin next week with Model. Lumpkin County having 2 good scrimmages this season.
Yeah. Well, so far we've got some scores up here. Week 1, we broadcast part of that game last week with Lumpkin and Cambridge. Lumpkin rallied in that one to win 29-21. I think Ty Maxwell started acting a little bit like Les Miles, been a riverboat gambler there late in the game, going for 2 instead of the tie, and grabbed the lead 22-21. And then what that done, that forced Cambridge to be sort of in, even though it was scrimmage, you're playing it like a game, to be in a hurry up, because instead of playing for a tie or playing for a winning field goal, they were playing to get back into it, forced an error, and Lumpkin took advantage of that and drove the ball in and took a win there. But here in week 2, Lumpkin very dominant over White County, and that scrimmage up there 28-14. So a very impressive start in the preseason for Lumpkin County. But also another impressive score coming in 3 quarters of play down in Atlanta, where Westminster got up on Dawson County 10-0. Dawson County cut it 10-7, and, of course, tied at 10-10. Austin Young caught a touchdown pass for Dawson County to tie that up. And I think that's big for Coach Sid Maxwell and the Dawson County Tigers, Bo.
Yeah, I think it is too. You've got the Tigers coming here with a completely new coaching staff. I'm not going to say completely new because, we've got some coaches of the staff that have been with Dawson County over the last few years. But new leadership, new offense, new defense. Everything has changed in that program. And so this scrimmage tonight was really a test of what they've been able to put in it. We talked to Coach Maxwell over the last few weeks about what they've been doing, and basically what they've been doing is watching the construction happen around the school, because they had the new field put in, they had the new weight room put in, the field house. They've had a lot of stuff going on there, and they didn't get a chance to, I guess you could say, have the normal summer workouts that you would have, the 7-on-7s and stuff like that. So, it was good to see that the Tigers went out tonight, put up 10 points on the board offensively with the new offense. And, like I said, we're going to see a completely new offense. It's a look of an Auburn-style offense. So, that's going to be interesting to see how that develops, because if we remember last year, we started the season off 0-5, and our offensive output was awful.
Yeah, and we have the last year's results in this year's schedule in Dawson County. We can hear every football game on the North Georgia SportsLink on the link channel that we have on TuneIn Radio, and we'll be broadcasting links out on our Facebook and social media channels for you to listen in on. But if you look back over last year, if the offense could have ever got it rolling for Dawson County, they probably could have finished 5-5 at least and been in the state playoffs, because they started off moving the ball well against Forsyth Central. Gilmer County couldn't generate any offense. This Heritage game, which we made the long road trip up there, if so many opportunities there, just could not get the points on the board. But still, Dawson County, should have been 1-2 going into West Hall. Played West Hall tough for a while. Could only muster up 3 points, and then West Hall put some points on at the end. Then this one was sort of a surprising moment. Was expecting East Hall to dominate Dawson County, but the Tigers stayed in it. So Dawson really could have been 2-3 through the first 5 games last year.
Well, you talk about that East Hall game, but it's always been that, I think you and I talked about it, it's always that weird game. Dawson has those weird games, our weird matchups. East Hall is one of them, and it seems like we always have the upper edge on East Hall no matter what year it is or what game that they play. And, last year they had Watson, he was out, for the first part of the season, so he's coming back. There's that hype that he's going to be back at quarterback for East Hall, and then we're going to have to deal with him, his speed, his
East Hall's Watson, that is, right?
East Hall's Watson, not Gainesville's. He was at Clemson, but yeah, and he comes in and boom, he throws the ball.
Right.
So he's not running. Of course, I mean, I guess that was indicative of the injury that he had, but regardless, they were throwing the ball. But then on the other side of the field, you had Dawson coming in, and if you look at the scores, 7-0, 6, and 3, and to that point, their offensive output,
right.
And bang, they put 29 points up in that game and have a chance to beat East Hall, and should have beaten East Hall, but some things happened to that one. But that was kind of the offense breakthrough outcoming party, whatever you want to call it. So that was kind of the turning point for the season, and if you look at the scores on down through there, a lot of chances for the Tigers last year to get into the state playoffs. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, you talk about the offense. They got some confidence there in that East Hall game, I believe. Put 25 up at Franklin County on the road. Everybody was expecting Franklin County to dominate. Dawson County got the win of the season, got some momentum. They were leading Fannin County big in that thing, and remember late in that thing, 28-21, and then Fannin sort of the wheels came off, and they took advantage of that. And then they went to Banks County, had a couple calls go against Dawson County. So there's two other games they could have won, and then Lumpkin just took advantage of Dawson County playing down the dumps. But changes this year for Dawson County, Bo. We've got Sid Maxwell. We have two Maxwells in the region now, so this one's Coach Sid Maxwell coming over to Dawson County. Career, 128 victories and 83 losses. First season at Dawson County, and this is his 21st season coaching football. So bringing a lot of excitement to the Dawson County program, Bo.
Yeah, a lot of excitement, a lot of things. I hinted on the changes that were made up in Dawsonville. Of course, along with those changes come new uniforms, new helmets, a new look this year for the Tigers with the white helmets coming in. So going away from the traditional gold look as far as the helmet. So it's kind of just changing, I guess, the whole identity of the program, which, when head coaches come into a school, that's what they that's what they want to do. They want to create the fanfare. They want to create, a lot of hype around the program. And Coach Maxwell's doing a great job of that. And hopefully that's going to, show up on the field as well with all the changes that's happened in Dawson.
Well, tonight it looked like some of it did.
Tonight it did. And so, first game of the season coming up against Forsyth Central. In a couple of weeks, we've heard Forsyth Central's, one of the best teams they've had in years over there. Tonight they played North Forsyth. I think it was 14-7 against the varsity. So Central winning that one. But it'll be interesting to see how all this translates, because not only is there hype around the program, not only are all the parents and the fans excited about what's to come, you also have to look at the X's and O's on the field and how it's going to develop for the Tigers offensively and defensively, because whenever you put that new stuff in, there is a transition process and a growing and a building process they're going to go through, and there's going to be some bumps on that road. So, I expect the Tigers, they have a lot of good coming back from last year's team. The youth that was last year is now older, stronger, bigger, faster. So, I think they should be able to put some points on the board, and I think they should be able to win some games this year. But we can't get all happy and hyped up immediately, because we got to see exactly how it translates with all the new as far as the X's and O's go.
Well, next Friday night they're going to be traveling over to North Hall to take on the Trojans in another scrimmage, and then the first game here on the North Georgia SportsLink, Dawson County will play host to Forsyth Central at Tiger Stadium on the 28th. And, yes, you can listen to that game as well as all the Dawson County games on the North Georgia SportsLink. So let's move over to Lumpkin County. Lumpkin County coming off a big first year with Coach Ty Maxwell, the other Maxwell in the region. Or I guess they could either county, you can say that's the other Maxwell, but he has really put a spark into that program, making the state playoffs for the first time in a number of years. You can see the schedule behind us almost mirrors Dawson County, with the exception of Model and Union being two of their out of region. Both teams are playing Johnson. But you can see they started off sort of rough last year and then got some momentum, picked up a big win at East Hall, or against East Hall, then at Franklin, at with Fanning, and then lost to Banks in a shocker, but they still slipped into that number 2 spot. But Coach Coach Ty Maxwell bringing some excitement to the Lumpkin County program, Bo?
Bringing some excitement to the program, and anybody that knows Ty, that he is one of those coaches that can bring that excitement. A young coach bringing the excitement in there, too, to the kids. And, one of the big things that a lot of folks may not know about Ty is that he is an Indian. Through and through. He bleeds purple and gold, always has, graduated there, played football, all sports there. So, Ty is in it, for not only the purposes of coaching football, but he's got something invested in it throughout his childhood, his playing days at Lumpkin County. So, Ty is an individual that brings a lot of heart to the coaching. He also brings a lot of grit, and he has that mentality, the kind of the defensive coach or
he's a line coach.
He's kind of has that mentality of he has the fight mentality, and I say that in a good way, Ty. And it's really relaying over to the kids. And you were going over the schedule last year, and you noticed the schedule, it kind of flip-flopped on them where they started the schedule off. Offense wasn't producing point-wise. They were producing plenty of yards. They just weren't producing point-wise. The defense was playing well, and then you flip-flopped the season there on them. The defense kind of started giving up a few more points they did the first half of the season. The offense actually picked up too. So, anytime you got Zach Matthews running the football for Lumpkin County or guiding that offense, which, Coach Maxwell got into last year with what happened with Gunner on that bogus penalty. He got that suspended him, and
Zach
had to come in and play quarterback as a sophomore. And I'm sure that was probably in the back of their minds at some point. Okay, we've got Zach as a backup, but Gunner's going to be our quarterback. Well, Zach comes in, proves that he can run the quarterback, can't stop him. Gunner comes back, and what a duo that was out of the backfield for Lumpkin County. So, they're coming back this year, lost a lot of kids, but it seems that Ty's been able to reload the kids that he's lost in these first two scrimmages. And really, truthfully, I am surprised at the output that they've had here in these two scrimmages.
Well, I was really impressed with the offensive line. Everyone was concerned about the losses on the line. Well, they looked pretty sharp last week, moving some big guys against Cambridge around and allowing Zach to pick some big yards up. But what Cambridge came out and done, they focused on Zach, stopping him. Zach picked up some yards, but there's two other threats that proved well the other night, or last Friday night, with Austin Pierce and Cody White, and they were picking up some big yards also. Actually, White scored twice and Pierce once, including a 2-point PAT. But Lumpkin's going to have three things the opponents have to worry about coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's really amazing what one player can do to a defense with Zach Matthews and his production that he had last year. Folks in the region and folks who in the non-region schedule that played against Zach last year are going to know, and that's going to be part of their defensive planning against them. But then, boom, you've got Austin Pierce and you got Cole White and you're the other guys thrown in there in the offense. So it gives that offense more of a 3-4 dimensional field than it does a one-dimensional, because if you look at the offense, you say, well, all they have is Zach, coming back. Well, hello, you've got a lot more coming in there, and that works in favor of Nikki Jenkins' offense, the offensive coordinator at Lumpkin, and what they're going to be able to do on the offensive side.
Yeah, Cody, he stepped up a lot of times last year. You got Austin, a lot of threats there, but I haven't seen them show anything on the pass game, so what they got up their sleeve, so that's something Lumpkin will work on. But you can see it next week here on North Georgia SportsLink, The Deuce. We have two channels going active as we did last year. We have two tune-in channels also. All the Lumpkin games will be on the Deuce channel, NGSL, or North Georgia SportsLink 2. And that game is next Friday night, the 21st. Kickoff is at 7:30, but we're going to try to get the show going up live in the parking lot about 7, so come on out, or actually about 6. Coming out, we're going to have some giveaways, and you come by and show us that you're liking us on Twitter or liking us on Facebook or following us on Twitter. We might can dig up some type of giveaway. So, yeah, we got some giveaways to throw out there. Now, Bo, I'm going to shift over, and let's go look at, if I click on the right one here, the region standings from last year, if this is going to click up here. There we go. That's how everybody finished last year. Lumpkin County finished number 2, East Hall 3, Franklin 4, Banks, Fannin, and Dawson. What's going to happen this year? I think everybody's still looking at this West Hall being number 1. They're pretty strong. They got a lot of talent. 2, 3, 4. Everybody, I think it's pretty much up for grabs. People are liking East Hall. Hearing a lot coming out of Banks County that they're going to be very strong. And then people are saying, is it Lumpkin? Is it Franklin? Is it Fannin? Is it Dawson battling for that 4th? Well, you know what? What I'm seeing from Lumpkin, they're going to be battling up here too. Dawson, I think, is going to be very key. So it's going to be, I think, once again, up for grabs this year.
I think it will be too. I think you're going to see the teams here that are going to be the most athletic teams of the region. It's going to be West Hall, East Hall, Banks, and Franklin County. I think are going to be the 4 teams that are going to be vying, in the very beginning of region play. And the reason I say that, of course, West Hall, they've got the 2 kids coming back to their program. Franklin County, we saw what they had. They had an injury on their team that year, but I think they're going to be pretty good. Banks County, we always know they're athletic. We know that they bring to the table in the region. They're one of that most athletic. And East Hall brings their athleticism also to the table. So I think those 4 teams are going to be the teams that are going to be athletic. Now, the dark horse of the region, I think, are going to be the Tigers.
I think
Dawson's going to be the dark horse. They finished. They won 2 games last year, and
very easily could have been right here.
Very easily could have been in the 4th spot. So I think they're going to play the game of the dark horse. Lumpkin's going to be in the mix of the top 4 that are the 4 that I said: West Hall, East Hall, Franklin, and Banks. And I'm not predicting that's going to the way it's going to end as far as the region goes, but I think Lumpkin's going to be in the mix there as well. Fanning County, I'm not real sure about.
Never know what
you never know. Something as we always say, it's the copper. I don't know, but Fanning County, not sure how they're going to finish. But I really think that this region is going to be more competitive than it was last year. From top to bottom. But I think the key team that we're going to be looking at is probably going to be West Hall in this region. They're probably going to be the team that folks are going to want to knock off, but I think they're going to be that team that could possibly end up being the 1 seed out of the region.
Well, Dawson has this one circled as the first region game. Lumpkin doesn't see them to the last game of the year. Then Dawson's got East Hall. So, Dawson's got to get off to a good start. Lumpkin, I think they start with East Hall in region play. But look at how Dawson stacks up against these. Dawson is very athletic, very quick. I think they come back with a strong defense. A lot of pretty much the same coaching staff, with the exception of the new DC, the new defensive coordinator. But same position coaches, a lot of the same players that are key. But I think what Coach Maxwell and the coaching staff does with that offense, they've got a lot of threats, a lot of speed that coaches are going to respect. Lumpkin County, they're going to be more of the power game this year. Defensively, they started out sort of tough last week, but they stepped up, made some adjustments. So I'm expecting Lumpkin to be more of the power game, pounded at you.
And one of the things I think probably is working in Dawson's favor is that they do have West Hall first, and the reason is because you might as well put unknown through Dawson County because nobody knows what they're going to do. I mean, they've heard what offense they run. They've heard what defense they're going to run, I'm sure. But
I've got the playbook.
Yeah.
I've got the playbook.
But
it's interesting.
Nobody knows exactly what the Tigers are going to do. They can read all the media. They can read all the newspapers. They can read all the websites. They can do what they want to do. They don't know what they're going to bring to the table. So I think that's probably a positive that West Hall is the first region game. Now, will the Tigers beat West Hall? Who knows? Last year they played them well.
Played them tough. If the offense could have got going last year, it would have been different.
Offense was a key. So this year, totally new offense, totally new defense. First region game is going to be West Hall. If there's ever a time for the Tigers to get in the driver's seat, it's going to be Game 1 in Region 7 AAA play against the defending region champion. So, I don't know if I'd want to be West Hall playing my first region game against the team that was last in the region last year and the unknown.
Yeah, and you don't know what Dawson's really going to come out and show in those first couple games because it really doesn't matter. And then Lumpkin County, with Union, you got the rival thing. You want to beat them. You want to avenge that loss to Model, which Lumpkin should have won that last year. They got Johnson, can probably play pretty conservative against Johnson. Then they go right into East Hall, which is a must-win off the bat because I think if Dawson cannot beat West Hall, I don't think there's anything lost because you're playing for that second seed or hoping somebody else can knock them off twice. And then you get a win here, you get a win here, you get a win here, you're back in the driver's seat hoping something happens, knocking them off. So it's going to be an interesting race this year. But, I think we got something else exciting that we're going to be playing this year, some a little different twist of the North Georgia SportsLink we hope you like. So we're going to run this little promotional right here. Let's see if you can hear this right here. A little surprise for you.
Hey, this is Chris. And Coal Mountain Cal, and we are so thrilled to be part of the North Georgia SportsLink family now. And be sure and tune in every Friday night after the football broadcast because we're going to host the After Party, Chris.
Southern Friday night after party, baby.
I ain't got to work tomorrow. Have you?
I ain't got to work on Saturday.
Well, this party may last all night long then.
Join us.
And, yes, that's Chris and Cal.
Wait, where is Chris? Does anybody know where Chris is?
He's a no-show. We're going to start calling him George Jones, right? The no-show. So, and we got one of them. It sort of feel like a Georgia championship wrestling. Somebody coming in on stage here. Let's see who we got here. Is it Ted DiBiase? Who we got?
Coal Mountain Cal.
Coal Mountain Cal there. How you doing, Cal?
Hey, Bo.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Sorry,
So,
Chris is on special assignment.
yeah, squeeze in here. Squeeze in here a little bit more.
I've been moving my. Excuse me.
So, yeah, hey, Cal and Chris are going to be in here every Friday night after the game, so you can always stay tuned to the North Georgia SportsLink number 1. If you're on 2, you can go to 1. And tell us about what the plan is. You don't worry about that. We'll tell everybody where to go. You look confused there.
I was sitting back in the green room listening. I thought I was listening to Keith Jackson and Jim Lampley back in the years.
Yes, indeed.
Vince Dooley and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes, indeed. Everyone's going to be a bun.
Don't get him started on
Oh,
Keith Jackson.
Nelly there.
No, anyway, we're going to do the I just came by to do traffic, by the way. It's a speed limit ride from Coal Mountain up to Seraph House Curve, not to be confused with the Grady Curve. And then from there, it's stop and go all the way due to the Moonshine Slowdown, not to be confused with Sunshine Slowdown from Dawsonville.
A different breed taking over after the game here tonight, but you are you can say here's an example of the entertainment
That's
you're going
right.
to get.
Hey,
Every Friday night after the game, we're going to rock out.
Hey,
Play some tunes.
call me Monday morning with that report, please.
Yeah, can I do the
You can't do that.
helicopter?
Traffic
Coal
report
Mountain
here.
Cal reporting, yes.
So yeah, Cal
No,
and
we're
Chris,
excited.
yeah, Cal and Chris is going to be a part of this. Have been some friends with us.
Cal is.
Yeah, we expect
Definitely.
Chris.
Cal
Definitely
is
Cal.
going to be part of it.
Yeah.
We're not sure about Chris.
My agent worked the contract out. Chris is still in negotiations. But
Something
no,
about
he should be here, hopefully.
Chinese food.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Rice,
Rice.
sushi,
Yeah.
sushi.
He was meeting with his agent tonight, so they'll get it worked out.
I understand.
But
Believe
no, I mean, heck.
He did go to an after
Get
party,
home,
though.
fire up that fire pit after the game. Either drowning your sorrows or celebrating. We'll do both.
So
We'll
we're
turn
going
into a party though.
playing. We're going to call it Southern Fried. Well, after party
That's
Southern.
like we used to do
yeah.
back in the old days. On
Yeah,
Friday
Southern
nights.
Fried Friday night. So we're going to get you a Twitter account set up so you can Twitter out some of your hits if y'all can, or tweet them, whatever you do.
Yeah,
Tweet them.
We'll do something.
I would say you'd let Chris do that, but I don't know if he's going to show up.
He'll have to close his MySpace account down first.
Oh, MySpace. Yeah, I forgot about that.
MySpace. Yeah, he still got his MySpace going.
Crickets?
Yeah.
Indeed.
But no, it's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it.
Go Google that.
Yeah. Hey, and y'all learned me how to run that thing and that, so I may fire it up through the middle of the week.
We learned you.
Yeah, learn me how.
Hey, anytime, man. We could go Southern Fried daily.
Yeah. Right. I'm getting back to the green room. Y'all doing good. So
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks
I'm
for.
gonna go work on my show sheet for next week.
There you go.
I'll see y'all Friday night.
Yeah, that is Coal Mountain Cal there. Appreciate him joining in there. And that's just a small sample of what you're going to get. And who knows, Bo and I may go join him in the studios at, where y'all at, West Coal Mountain? Or downtown
Yeah.
Coal Mountain. There we go, Doc Holcomb building. So Bo and I may go down and join them some after the games, but we invite you just stay tuned in, listen to them on the way in, and they'll, of course, have all the scores coming in on the most comprehensive in-game scoreboard in North Georgia. But, Bo, I'm ready for football. How about you?
You know, I'm ready for football. I'm ready for the scrimmages to be gone out of the way so we can get to the real games. Next week we'll get the real game model in Lumepkin County. We'll have that action for you here on the North Georgia SportsLink. But, yes, it's one of those things where you want to see what they've been working on all summer. And you say all summer, a lot of teams, start back in the spring with spring practice. Some don't do spring practice anymore. They do the 2 scrimmages to start to see, or before the season starts. So you see what everybody's been working on. You see, the fanfare of all the fans excited, the tailgating, all that kind of stuff with high school football here. So I'm ready to get it underway. I'm ready to see what happens on the football field next week up in DeLonghi.
That's right, and Bo and I will be up in DeLonghi. And guess who's coming back into town? Walker McCrary. He should be back in DeLonghi by now. He's been out on his internship. That's been an exciting thing. Are you going to put a blog up? I think he's got a blog.
Yeah, I've got a blog to post for him. I'll get that up sometime this weekend.
Yeah, so we're going to get that up so you can read about Walker's summer. So we're glad to have him back. I'm sure that was a very exciting and rewarding experience. So he will be with us on stage, and our plan is to broadcast video and audio live from some location outside of the burial ground, so come by and join us. We're going to throw out some giveaways and everything. If you just come up and show us you've liked us on Facebook or following us on Twitter, and then the following week we'll be doing the same thing down in Dawsonville as the Tigers take on for South Central. Football season is here, guys. We're ready to get this thing kicked off, Bo.
Yes, we are. I'm ready for it, man. Let's get our prep sheets together. Maybe Cal can help us with our show sheet.
We don't have any prep sheets going on, if you can't tell. So, last week I felt happy to have a roster in front of me.
Oh yeah. Should we actually try to do some predictions or no?
Nah.
Okay.
But we're always wrong.
I thought I'd just throw that out there.
We usually make people mad when we do that.
Maybe we could get Chris to do predictions for us.
Does he know how to do that?
Oh, he's not here.
That's right.
Sorry. I forgot about
George
that.
Jones.
George Jones.
George Jones. No show. Cheatham. So, hey, guys, thank you for all your support, and please tune in next Friday night, Lumpkin playing host to Model, and then, of course, right after the game, the After Party, Southern Friday nights with Chris and Cal. Tune in. Hey, thanks for your support, and until next week, so long.